True love goes beyond coincidence and chance. It is a sacred orchestration by God, a divine blueprint that connects two souls meant to walk together forever. The quest to meet your soulmate is not just a search, it's a spiritual journey where God prepares both hearts and thoughtfully brings them together at the perfect time and place. This video reveals how God orchestrates every detail, revealing His perfect timing and plan for your love story. God's design for soulmates, more than just romance. Love rooted in God is remarkable. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 4 verses 9 to 10, "Two are better than one because they get a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion." God's design for relationships involves deep companionship, mutual support, and spiritual growth. Soulmates are divinely designed not only to complete each other but to reflect God's love through their union. This section explores the spiritual purpose behind meeting your soulmate. Preparing hearts for the meeting. God never rushes nor overlooks the importance of preparation. In Jeremiah 29 verse 11, God declares, "For I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Before divine introductions happen, God shapes and prepares your heart, molding character and faith so you are ready to embrace this sacred relationship fully. Patience is part of His plan. How prayer invites God's guidance in love. Prayer opens the door to divine intervention. Philippians 4 verse 6 encourages, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known to God." Inviting God into your love journey through prayer aligns your heart with His will and invites Him to orchestrate your soulmate meeting in ways that surpass all understanding. The role of divine timing in God's perfect plan. God's timing is flawless. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 reminds, "For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven." This section explains how God's perfect timing brings two hearts together, not a moment too soon or too late, for a union blessed with grace, resilience, and purpose. Recognizing God's hand through spiritual confirmation. God often confirms soulmate connections through peace, alignment in values, and spiritual growth. 2 Corinthians 13 verse 11 says, "Aim for restoration, comfort one another, agree with one another, live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you." Learning to recognize these signs is vital to discern God's involvement in your romantic path. Overcoming doubts and trusting God's plan. Skepticism and doubt can cloud the heart. Yet, Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 encourages, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths." Embracing faith over fear brings peace, even when the journey feels uncertain or delayed. Actions to take while waiting on God's introduction. Waiting actively is key. James 2 verse 17 states, "Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead." This section shares practical steps, from self-growth, community involvement, and living purposefully, that prepare you to meet your soulmate in the fullness of God's blessings. How God uses trials to refine your future marriage. Trials are often refining fires. Romans 5 verses 3-5 says suffering produces endurance, character, and hope. Challenges before meeting your soulmate strengthen resilience and deepen faith, helping build a marriage foundation that honors God. The joy and peace of a God-ordained union. A God-introduced soulmate relationship overflows with joy and peace. Psalm 37 verse 4 states, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." When God leads the way, love blossoms with divine harmony and eternal purpose. Living a love story that glorifies God. Your soulmate union is a testimony of God's faithfulness. Ephesians 5 verse 25 commands, "Husbands, love your wives, as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her." This final section reflects on how to nurture a relationship grounded in God's love and grace, transforming your love story into a powerful witness. Every journey toward finding a soulmate, when guided by God, transforms from a mere hope or wish into a profound spiritual experience filled with purpose and promise. This is not accidental. It is intentional. The Creator who crafted the universe also carefully intertwines the paths of two souls destined to unite. Understanding this truth shifts the way love is perceived, from fleeting romantic notions to a sacred covenant deeply rooted in God's plan. Reflecting on Ecclesiastes 4 verses 9-10, where two are said to be better than one, the emphasis goes beyond companionship. It is a reminder of divine partnership. Soulmates do not come together solely for emotional fulfillment but to help each other bear burdens, to uplift one another in moments of weakness, and to spur growth in love and faith. This partnership mimics the intimate connection God has with His people, marked by hope, perseverance, and mutual care. The preparation phase, as grounded in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, offers deep comfort. Life's waiting seasons are far from wasted. They are moments when God performs critical inner work, healing, teaching, building character, and strengthening faith. Reflection here points to patience as a spiritual virtue. The soulmate God introduces is not a reward for rushing, it is a crown for endurance. The divine architect ensures both hearts arrive prepared to love not just with passion but with wisdom and grace. Prayer is the lifeline that keeps hope alive and aligns hearts with God's intentions. Philippians 4 verse 6 portrays prayer as the antidote to anxiety. This connection with God creates a sacred space where desires are surrendered and divine plans are revealed. Reflecting on this helps recognize that love is rarely a journey traveled alone, it is a pilgrimage walked with God's continual guidance. Each prayer whispered for a soulmate opens a door for miracles to unfold, reminding the seeker that God cares deeply about the desires of their heart. Timing is often the greatest test of faith in the search for a soulmate. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 assures that in God's economy, everything happens at the right moment. This cosmic timing means that God prevents premature meetings that could lead to heartbreak and arranges encounters when both souls can truly flourish. Reflection on divine timing teaches trust against uncertainty, suggesting that delays are often divine protection or preparation cloaked in waiting. Recognizing God's hand in love requires spiritual sensitivity. Signs such as inner peace, shared values, and mutual spiritual encouragement serve as indicators that the relationship God arranged is authentic. 2 Corinthians 13 verse 11 invites believers to pursue peace and unity, which becomes both a test and a confirmation of a soulmate bond. This part of the reflection encourages actively listening to the Spirit and valuing emotional and spiritual harmony above superficial attraction. Embracing faith over doubt is a vital lesson from Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Reflection here centers on surrendering control and embracing divine wisdom beyond human understanding. Doubts about timing, worthiness, or outcome are natural, yet trusting God faithfully ensures a straighter path forward. This trust replaces anxiety with confidence that the God who began the love story will bring it to completion, no matter the obstacles or waiting periods. Faith in action, emphasized by James 2 verse 17, transforms a passive wait into an active journey. Self-improvement, community engagement, and enrichment in purpose and passion become ways to honor God while waiting. This period becomes one not of idle hoping but of meaningful living, where spiritual growth and readiness attract the right divine match. Reflecting on this teaches the value of preparedness. God's meeting point is where hearts and lives are fully aligned to receive love. Trials before meeting a soulmate can feel discouraging, yet Romans 5 verses 3 to 5 reframes difficulties as divine tools that build endurance, character, and hope. Through reflection, suffering is understood not as punishment but as refinement, like pure gold tested by fire. These challenges prepare both individuals to bring not brokenness but strength into the relationship, fostering a union that can withstand life's storms. The joy and peace that follow a God-orchestrated union, illustrated in Psalm 37 verse 4, offer the believer a glimpse into the happiness that faith can bring to love. True satisfaction is found not in fleeting emotions but in the deep delight of knowing that God's favor rests on the relationship. Reflection here encourages a shift from seeking external validation to delighting in God's promises and presence in the love journey. Finally, living a love story that glorifies God, Ephesians 5 verse 25, elevates soulmate love from a personal blessing to a testimony of divine faithfulness. This reflection extends beyond romantic love to illustrate how Christ-like love calls for sacrifice, forgiveness, and unwavering commitment. This sacred covenant becomes a living example of God's unconditional love, inspiring others and deepening the spiritual legacy of the couple. Your divine love story awaits. If this message touched your heart, your divine soulmate journey is unfolding in God's perfect way. Subscribe to the channel for more inspiring spiritual content, and share this video with loved ones seeking hope and faith in their love life. Let the world know that true love is a sacred gift orchestrated from above.